Chica.
You crossed the border the wrong way.
I went down to Mexico and I never went back to the United States. I moved me and my company down to Mexico, and I'm so glad that I did. And I'm going to explain to people why in the hell I left the United States and stayed in León, Guanajuato, Mexico. Now, where is León, Guanajuato, Mexico?
Right in the middle of Mexico.
Boom, right in the middle. Every American, they're like, where do you live in Mexico? And I say, León, and they say,
Not Cancun.
what? Oh, I've only been to Cancun, Tulum, Puerto Vallarta, Cabo, right?
Yeah.
That's all that Americans know. Why? Because all they do is go on vacation while I'm working, right?
Yes.
One of the reasons I came down here was for my company. We do a lot of our making and our manufacturing down here because people don't know this, but the best leather artisans in the world are in León, Guanajuato, Mexico. In León, Mexico, there are over 500 tanneries and 900 shoemakers.
Yes.
So a lot of those fancy leather shoes that you wear, that you go on to Congress in Austin, Texas, and spend way too much money for, all those things. I went in one of the stores, crazy. People buying boots for insane amounts of money that we can have made here for very little. I moved down here mostly as a fluke. We moved our manufacturing down when COVID happened, right? Because we were shut down in Portland. We were going to be out of business. And we came down. Just so happens that all the best leather artisans in the world had just been laid off because COVID hit.
Yeah.
So we set up a small little studio and only had 5 sewing machines in it. What are you smiling about?
What did Fabian say? If you give me the keys and 50 people, I can make... What was it?
He said, just give me some machines, a place to plug them in. I will build up a manufacturing studio and then just hand you the keys. Because it's my dream.
There was something
about
about
to do this, and I will hand you the keys. Well, you're still with us, and we're now the largest leather bag manufacturer in North America, right?
Yes.
But we came down, but I didn't have to come down here. I'm a marketing guy. I'm the CEO of Portland Leather Goods. I don't have to go where the manufacturing is. Steve Jobs did not fly and move to China just because they made the iPhone there, right? Does that make sense? He's not living in Shanghai and Dongwon. He was living in California. Why did I move down here? Well, first of all, I was spending more and more time down here working on the supply lines. So I figured it was about 1 week a month, right?
Yes. You were launching a sister company.
Yes.
And a lot of people were flying into Mexico at least a week a month.
We kept flying down and having all people. And we were staying at a place called the Crown Plaza. Okay? And it's fine. I liked it. But it's not home.
Yeah.
It's just, we went there last night.
You told me.
Did I tell you the guy was like, oh my gosh, we missed you and came up and gave me a hug?
Yeah. Shut up. That's so funny.
I know.
That is so funny.
So it all started actually when I went golfing with Fabian. And I'm like, gosh, this course is kind of nice. I mean, look at these big houses on this beautiful course here in Mexico. Maybe I should take a look inside of some of these houses about buying a house with the theory of all of my people staying in that house when they come down, and I could save money from the Crown Plaza, right?
Yeah.
That sounds like it's a pretty smart thing, right?
Yes, and the interaction when you travel, not in a hotel, but in a house, is completely different.
So I looked at 8 different houses up on El Bosque. And then the last one I came to was the current house I'm sitting in right now. And it was staggeringly beautiful. And I walked in. Fabian didn't like it at first.
No, and you are offended that I don't think it's a practical home for real living, for a family.
No, but it's fancy ass.
It's beautiful, and it serves its purpose. It serves its purpose amazingly.
Yes. So we walked in. I saw this beautiful house that I would be $3, $4, $5 million in Portland, and he told me the price. First of all, the price was down
pesos,
here, right? Yeah, it was way down here. I'm like, what? So we ended up buying this house as a place for everyone to stay when they come down here, right? Now, if I'm going to stay here, I don't know how to take care of a house in Mexico, right?
Yeah, and you are not going to be here for 2/3 of the time. Yeah.
So I needed someone to watch the house, and I needed someone to help me. So we hired someone named Mariana. And what did we tell you when we hired you?
You sent a a whole email with stuff that was my job description, of which I do 1 or 2 things now.
Yes. I don't remember any of this.
Yeah.
I literally hired you, and I'm like, oh, we'll use like 1 week a month.
Yeah.
And then it was 2 weeks. And then we basically, Caitlin and I came down here, and we would go back and forth, but we ended up spending more time here than we did in Portland. And then the big switch happened when we brought our little dogs down. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
that was not even a year later.
We miss our dogs. So we brought our dogs down. And from the day they came in and walked around here in the house, it was kind of like, we don't want to go back.
Yeah.
And so what we realized is to go from León, Mexico to Portland, Oregon, you have to fly to Dallas or Houston, and then a long ass flight to Portland. It's a whole day. It's a whole day there. It's a whole day back. So what I started to do is say, hey, how would you guys like to come down to Mexico? Yeah. So instead of me losing 2 days a week, they come down here, they enjoy it, and I don't have to fly.
You tell this story about how somebody at some point said, we live in Mexico for quality of life. And you said, what? No.
Are you trying to tell my story?
I'm trying to.
How
am I doing? Am I
succeeding? This is a wonderful story that I love to tell, and you just crushed that story.
So go ahead.
Everybody, like an Etch-a-Sketch, I want everyone to shake the computer and shake their head. It's like, hey, the first time I came down to León, Mexico was in 2018. And I was picked up at the airport by a guy named Chewy Vargas.
Hi, Chewy.
And Chewy is driving me in along with a young lady named Mary. Now, Mary was a 6-foot-tall, blonde sorority girl from Auburn University, and she was a take charge type of a person.
With a red mouth.
With a red mouth?
I don't know. All I've heard about Mary is her red lipstick.
Really?
Yeah.
I have never heard this. Not that she's 6 foot tall and blonde and scary?
Red lipstick.
Wow. So she said that she had heard about León because her sorority sister married a guy from León, and they moved to León. And I looked around and I said, Mexico? Why in the hell would they want to live in León, Mexico, rather than in the United States? And she said, quality of life. And I thought in my mind, you're crazy.
That's stupid.
That is so dumb. Why would anyone... I live in Portland, Oregon. It's fantastic. You want to know something else that Portland has? Winters.
Yes.
Do you know what winter is like in Portland, Oregon?
Eternal.
Ooh, I like that. That's a really good answer, right? Yes, the eternal winter of Portland. That's a good new Netflix show. It is rainy and it is dark. Mm-hmm. And I just bought this house across the river, nestled right into the mountains. Like it was
very pretty.
Very pretty, but the sun sets on that side. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the sun goes behind the mountain and it gets dark. In the winter, it's like dark at 1 o'clock and it's rainy and it's terrible and it's depressing. And all you do is say, I cannot wait for the spring and the sun to come out. And then what happens in April and May? Guess what? The sun comes out.
Okay, for 2 seconds a day.
For a week. And you're like, we made it, it's summer, and then crash again, yet again. So I spent half my time in depression in Portland, Oregon.
And you
huddled up inside, and I didn't even know that until I found the sunny disposition of León, Mexico, right?
Yeah.
So we called up Byron, our wonderful real estate agent. We said, hey, pack up our house, put it on the market, sell it.
You didn't even go.
We didn't even fly back. Here are the things that I love about Mexico and why it works for me. As an entrepreneur, I'm in León, which is everyone works here. It's a work culture. It's not Cabo.
It's an industrial city.
Not everyone is just sitting on the beach and talking about going to Pilates class, okay? It's actually, now they do. I will tell you per capita, the people who work out daily in León is much higher than people who work out daily in the United States. Did you know that?
I did not.
Did you ever think about it?
No.
I know that. I'm right next to the road where they run every day. People are always working out here. Do you have a lot of gyms in León, Mexico?
Yes.
Are they all full? Yes.
Yes.
People work out. We actually took 2 guys from here. We took Paco Pollo and Andres to this party in Austin, Texas. And they're all of these fit 30-year-old guys. And they did this contest where they're doing the push-ups. It's some song that every time they say up, you got to do the push-up, and then you go back down, and you hold it in the lower position, okay? And these guys are all like, 30-year-olds. It was a 30-year-old's birthday party, right? Mm-hmm. The two best fit people, the two guys from Mexico. Andres kicked ass. What are you giving me that giggle for?
About us walking on our weighted vests.
Us walking on our what?
The weighted vests that we're wearing and walking with. And I'm walking in flip-flops.
Yes.
And I'm not wearing any sunblock, and you're worried. And I'm like, we're tarahumanas.
We know how to just get shit done, and we walk through the mountains, and we're tough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mexicans are tougher. I'm a fragile little boy. Do you think I've gotten tougher since I lived in Mexico? No, not at all. But I love it.
Yeah.
So, number one, I think the quality of life here is better. There's a subtlety of the people that is just nicer and better. I call it the land of 1,000 parties.
It is.
And there's always something happen. If there's a birthday party, everyone shows up. If there's somebody who has a birthday at work, everybody has a party about it. If there's reasons to do something 2 or 3 nights a week, and if you are in Portland, I've said this story, there's 2 things about Portland. People say, I've got a friend, why do I need another one? Mm-hmm. Right? And if you ask them to do something, they're like, oh yes, we can meet for coffee in 3 weeks on a Thursday if you can meet me between 1 and 1:15. And I want to say, your life is not that important to be scheduled that much or to exclude all of these people. We have an office in Portland, and when you're here, what happens at 2 o'clock in Mexico?
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime. Everyone has big lunches together. They get together. They talk. They go out to these 2-hour lunches every day, right? Eternal lunches.
La sobremesa?
Of course. In Portland, they grab something to eat it at their desk. And if you say, hey, guys, in Mexico, we all go out to lunch together. Let's go out to lunch. They're all like, okay, yeah, let's go. You walk up the street to the Mexican restaurant just to make sure it fits in there. And they immediately order, eat their food, and ask for the check. And it lasts for 15, 20 minutes. No one really talks, and it's over with, right? It's weird. I have tried again and again to do the lunches when we're there.
Really?
Doesn't work. If you have visitors come to Mexico, you say, hey, how you doing? What are you doing tonight? Let's take you out to dinner, right?
Yes.
You show them around, you take them to dinner. If you have visitors visit Portland Leather Goods, guess what? Hey, it was nice seeing you. Have fun at your freaking hotel.
Your boss will ask, are you going to need something to eat?
What?
That was what you said the first time I was in Portland.
Are you gonna need
We're
something
in
to
the
eat?
office,
Yes.
and then I showed up with some, are you going to need something to eat? I was like, well, maybe.
Yeah, but here, you would never think about that. You make sure they have breakfast. You take them out. You bring them stuff to eat. You take them out to lunch. You take them out to dinner. That subtlety of culture is hard to explain.
Yeah.
But again, if you're talking in businesses and companies, it's the small things you change that over time make big differences. And the thing about Mexico, it's the small cultural things that we do here in Mexico that they do not do in the United States that makes a difference. People can live in 2 different things that do not make sense. There are Americans who say, America's the best, and we have the best everything, and we're the best culture, and we're the best thing. And at the same time, bitch about, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and people sit by their computer, and they're not outside, and they're not doing this, there's no communication, right? Yeah. How can you be the best with all of these problems at the same time, right? You literally can't. But they live in this delusion that everything we do is better. There are a lot of great things about the United States.
Yeah.
Optimism, confidence, this belief that we can do all of these things.
Target.
That's it. Target? Tell everybody on here what Mexicans think about Target.
Mexican women plan trips around Target.
I love Target.
We love it.
It's a great store. I don't plan trips around it.
Did you know they tried to bring it to Mexico?
No.
It doesn't work. We need to go on a trip to make it feel Targety.
Oh, wow. Yeah. It's like Malinchista.
Uh-huh.
Yes, wow. Let's get back to this subtle difference because that's the thing I can't explain. When people say, what is the difference? And I keep saying the words, and they don't get it. And I think it's the disconnect. between believing that America is the best, but knowing that young men in the United States are screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like 50% of guys have not approached a woman in the last 3 years. They spend time on their computers. There's games on there. There's porn on there. There's communication on there. There's online dating on there. They believe that their life is in their computer.
We're talking about a little bit about college and how now people think that college online is college.
Yes, because they think that getting the degree is the most important thing rather than all of the things that you do. I believe that there's just more life, or at least for me, I live a little bit better life when I'm here.
Yeah.
Now, what do I like about going to the United States?
You speak English and people find you funny.
I find myself so funny. And here, I can't tell the waiter a joke because they're not going to think it's funny. And I can have you tell them the joke, but you're not as funny as me, so they're not going to laugh.
I'm hilarious.
I like certain things about the United States, but I've been trying to think, where would I live for 6 months out of the year if I lived in the United States?
We've been trying to figure that one out.
For 2 years?
Yes.
Got
We've
no
talked
clue.
and talked about it.
Got no clue. I mean, we talked about Arizona.
I know.
Like that much. We talked about Austin, Texas. Why don't I want to live in Austin or Arizona?
Because it's just as fucking hot as Mexico.
There
Can
you
I
go.
say that? Can I say that?
Yeah, the seasons run the same.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Doesn't make sense.
Arizona's great in the winter. I would rather be in Mexico in the winter. Arizona sucks in the summer. Well, I don't want to go there in the summer, right?
'Cause, yeah, you're running away from the heat.
Maybe Montana.
You've talked about
from Montana.
connection. And
I don't feel connected in Montana.
you need to go somewhere where you're going to have a community.
Smart people. Yeah. I thought that being away from the United States would mean I was more level mentally in terms of politics, because I don't have to follow the politics, right?
No, you do, because
You have to follow it because it's crazy. And you're just like, and I still get upset, but then I'm just like,
you don't follow it. It follows you.
oh my God, that's one of the most brilliant things
follows
you've
you,
ever
and it's
said in
crazy.
the history of the world. So I will tell you this. If you have a chance to live in Mexico for 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months out of the year, or to move to Mexico, I can tell you I love it, even though there are things about the United States that I miss,
Yes, you do.
even though I still don't like soccer.
That is just sad, but sure.
Do you like American football or soccer better? Don't even do that.
No, I like soccer, but we had to choose because we have kids and we cannot just watch sports forever. So
See?
we have chosen American football.
Nice. I moved to Mexico on a fluke. I absolutely love it. I love the people and the quality of life. And if you're on the edge, try it for a while. It might be something exciting for you. We got to say goodbye.
Bye.